When it comes to getting laundry done, there's tons of gadgets you might see on TV or online that claim big results in a small package. But without a decent review, your hard-earned cash might just go askew. So it's a good thing that your trusted confidants are here to air all the dirty laundry on these miniaturized appliances. Our story begins with Wonder Washer, a $60 miniature washing machine that would be great for apartment living or maybe any other small dwelling. Carefully opening the packaging, you'll see that everything comes nestled neatly inside of a washing basin. We remove the instructions and the lid to reveal the motorized base of the device. Simply place the tub on top of the base and place the lid just on top of that. Plug it in and you're ready to tackle your laundry one outfit at a time, perhaps. To see if this thing has any chops, we went ahead and poured some of Portland's finest ketchup right onto this pair of shorts we had laying around. When it was established that enough tangy glops were going on, we shoveled off the excess and blotted some of the ketchup right into the fabric. A few hours later, once the stain had begun to set, we cut the shorts in half, as we'll be using the other side for comparison a little bit later on. To make this thing do its job, you place the garment into the basin and then fill it up with water until it reaches the 7-liter mark in the rear. Once that's taken care of, you just grab it by the handle and carefully place it atop the motorized base. Considering we're only washing a leg sleeve here, we're just going to use a dash of laundry detergent and pour it inside. Just snap that lid back on and give it a twist until the notches slide under the handle. Fantastic, just set that timer for 15 minutes and turn the program knob to standard, and the washer should whirl into action. We immediately saw that the lip between the lid and tub was leaking pretty badly, so it's apparent that you should probably take a moment to dump some of that water out. Once we lowered the water level to around the halfway mark, we put the tub back on and fired it up. While no longer leaking, it's definitely quite shaky and very top-heavy when full of liquid. This leads us to a conclusion that unless you have it in a bathtub or on top of a towel, you're going to want to keep an eye on it. Once it finished, the machine powered down and we removed our sweet threads. Surprisingly, the ketchup stain was successfully removed. Of course, no one wants the hassle of individually washing garments, so we figured we'd make an assessment as to how well it performs when we load it up with all things that are good. We went ahead and tossed in some socks, a nice little t-shirt, some underwear, and of course, a pair of jeans. Disappointingly, when we put it into a real-life scenario, it seems that the motor just doesn't have the gusto for even a single outfit. We assumed here that the jeans might be the culprit, so we loaded up a handful of lighter garments and went at it again. Once it started, we immediately went back into disaster prevention mode, even using the detergent bottle to attempt to weigh down the lid, and then finally giving up and heading back over to the sink to pour some water out through the holes in the top. The Wonder Washer does close pretty well once you figure it out. Even when it does work correctly, you've still got wet clothes to take care of. And take care of them we will. But first, let's check out the washing wand. This ingenious $19 device lets you wash your gear with a healthy helping of elbow grease. Opening up the package, we've got a little shovel handle, 2 shafts, and the main housing. After getting rid of the wrapping, you can just screw the pieces together to form your handle, and then attach that handle right to the housing. When it's all secured tightly, the housing should be firmly attached to its little basket that's concealed within. This thing helps you churn the water correctly. Over to the sink for the stain test, we tossed in our sacrificial shorts and filled the sink up a bit. Oh, and of course, we added some laundry soap. Once we were all warmed up, we gave this thing the old college try, smashing, spinning, and stirring until we needed to tag in a partner. We weren't really getting the results that we were hoping for, so we resolved to skip the sink and opted to utilize the Wonder Washer as a stand-in test bucket instead. Now that everything's in a more confined space, the wand actually started to make some magic happen. Considering the handle's design, we started using a spin in conjunction with the plunging motion. You could really feel the wand creating a suction, finally agitating the clothing. Up and down, round and round, this thing alone will give you a sweet little turkey leg. In truth, even shortening the shaft for a little better leverage didn't make this any less of a chore. After plunging to exhaustion, then rinsing the clothes in a bucket of clean water, it would appear that the wand almost completely failed our test, regardless of the fact that we use much more soap during the process. In conclusion, the only spell this wand can cast is Maximo Regretto. Now that we've got our washing taken care of, let's take a peek at the Gangi portable dryer. The dryer hanger comes in at $28 and is probably the friendliest box we've encountered so far. We went ahead and put the instructions to the side, and we're left with the main base unit, which has the heating elements, and we also have a cheesecloth bag for storage, and a couple wings to hold whatever you want to dry right in place. We took a quick look at the instructions and everything seemed pretty clear, so back to assembly. Now we can't promise you'll get this, but ours came with pre-installed smears and smudges at no additional price. The arms will attach with just a snap and a click, making the machine ready for use. To give this thing a proper test, we took out this wonderful dress shirt, dipped it in water, and then wrung it out a little bit to give it a little bit of an advantage. We went ahead and put it on the hanger and button that top button. Just power it up, activate the heating mode, and select the length of time you want it to run. Since this is our first real go-round, we're gonna set it off on a 3-hour tour. After an hour, it was fairly surprising to us that this had made some great progress. And finally, after that grueling 3-hour wait, we went back for the final check. We were surprised to find that it was 90% of the way dry, although the bottom of the cuff seemed to be hanging onto some water just a little bit. The collar had become perfectly dry as well, which was great, and since you'll be giving this thing a quick iron anyway, you can probably handle that wet sleeve from here. You might be thinking you could probably get the same result just by putting your shirts on a regular old hanger for some air drying action, and honestly, you'd be mostly right. We dipped the shirt in water again and hung it out to dry with no extra assistance. Here's what it looked like after 1 hour. Fairly unimpressive. However, taking a look at hour 2, it started looking similar to the results that we had with the hanger. At the 3-hour mark, our results turned out to be just about as good as we'd got with the hanger dryer. We'd assume that after 4 hours, it'll be just as dry as it could be. So how does the hanger work on shoes? To find out, we busted out our 100% legit Red Octobers that we got off a guy on Craigslist. He said he was giving us a discount on these because they needed a little glue in the back. No problem. We've got a matching hot glue gun to boot. To test it out, we poured in a generous amount of hot water and really let the inside soak. Once placed upon the hanger, flick the main vent closed and set the timer. This is going to ensure that all the air shoots out into the shoes and not out the middle. Taking the shoes down after a couple hours, we were pleased to see that they were completely dry on the inside. So as a final thought, we'd say that this thing is fantastic for your shoes and it's just okay for your shirts, as you saw that air drying accomplished pretty much the same result. Okay, and pulling up the rear today is the crazy KZDOF personal clothes dryer. Alright, it's really not that crazy. This thing is the perfect way to bring your favorite appliance along with you on family vacations. No dryer left behind. Breaking on into the packaging, we've got a strap to hang the dryer behind a door, some instructions, and a carrying case that houses everything you're gonna need. Once we were able to outsmart the locking mechanism, we revealed a couple detachable arms, the dryer itself, the clothing bag, and a hook attachment. First things first, we gotta get the arms into the device by sliding them notch side up right into the slot. Next, we took an in-depth look at the instructions to try and find out what coths are. After unzipping the garment bag, we're gonna reopen the carrying case and fold out the 2 hangers inside. Just slide the case into the top of the bag and then put the hangers through the slots. To install the heater, you're just gonna slide the power cord through the hole in the bottom of the bag and pull it down until about 60% of the device is exposed. The arms that were attached earlier will not only keep the heater at its proper height, but it'll also prevent the bag from folding in on itself. Lastly, you just slide the rotating attachment over the 2 exposed hooks at the top, and this will allow you to pretty much put it in any configuration you desire. To keep things simple, we'll go ahead and test this thing out on the same shirt that we used twice already. Once the shirt was sufficiently saturated, we went ahead and grabbed a hanger and put it right into the bag. After zipping it up and making sure everything looks snug and secure, we went ahead and fired it up for its initial 90-minute setting. This can obviously be adjusted to your needs. Right after you push the power button, the bag will inflate pretty quickly and cause the bottom end of the bag to creep up a bit, which actually made the buttons more accessible. Let's jump forward to 90 minutes in. Our shirt was surely parched and needed starched, but it was completely dry nonetheless. But what about that outfit we washed earlier? Will it dry just as easily? Seizing the opportunity, we hung the items individually and stuck them into our shiny silver bag. After about 90 minutes of baking, we checked the bag to mixed results. Our shirts were still much too damp to wear, the undergarments probably could have produced water with a hefty squeeze, and in a bizarre twist of fate, the heaviest fabric, the pants, was completely dry except for a little moisture near the pockets. Considering there's an ample amount of clothing in here, we gave it another 90 minutes to see if it could meet our high standards. Once time expired, we're happy to report that the only thing that wasn't in a wearable state was the socks. Which makes a lot of sense. You sometimes can't even get socks dry if you throw them in a real dryer. Our final verdict on this device is that it could be useful in a pinch, whether your dryer goes down or even if you just want to warm up your jacket before braving the elements. The fact of the matter is that none of these devices compare to a real washer and dryer, but you can get really close with the right combination, and sometimes that's good enough. Hopefully we saved some of you money and made some of you spend it. Either way works for us. If there's a particular product you'd love to see reviewed on this show, let us know in the comments. And until next time, keep setting it and forgetting it.